Well, one group that's probably not ready to buy a home, college grads. With commencement season winding down, graduates are turning their attention to finding a job. And with many burdened with crushing student debt loads, getting into the workforce sooner rather than later is a top priority. Hampton Pearson surveys the landscape for the class of 2014.
Erica, Lauren, Lopresti.
For the class of 2014, the job market is getting better. Sort of. Unemployment among last year's college graduates was nearly 11%, down from 13% in 2012. But that's nearly double the current unemployment rate of 6.3%. Job placement experts say the sluggish recovery continues to delay graduates finding jobs, or if hired, they're often taking less pay.
Unfortunately, today's college is yesterday's high school. You just have to accept that. But you have to be strategic, and you want to target the industries and the companies that you would have an interest in and find people that work in those industries and those companies.
But graduate spirits remain high. 84% of this year's graduating class expect to find jobs in their chosen field, according to a brand new survey from Accenture. 22-year-old Laura Schwartz, who just graduated from George Washington University, began her job search more than a month ago. She's determined to get a job in social media and marketing, part of the new economy, but already seeing stiff competition.
I'm very confident in my skills as social media manager of my blog, and I know that I could do really well in that field. And I think that it's a growing, social media is really growing, and it's becoming a huge part of businesses, and I know that I could really make a difference in companies by being their social media manager.
Job search professionals agree there is growth in social media, but the best career prospects, they say, are in technology, energy, and healthcare.
Technology by far is number one, which makes an intuitive sense. But also, when you look at America over the next decade, it's hard to not pay attention to energy. All the activity that's going with fracking and the like, as well as healthcare. Healthcare will be 20% of this economy. So I would say, it's healthcare, it's energy, and it's technology.
The class of 2014 has been called the most indebted class ever. Those with loans owing about $33,000 on average. But those graduates can expect to earn far more in a lifetime than those without a college degree. For Nightly Business Report, I'm Hampton Pearson in Washington.
Conrad DeCodros joins us now with more on the job market. He's senior economist at RDQ Economics. Conrad, every parent and every kid, when they finally get that college degree, think like, okay, I'm going to get a job, but it seems like some are more successful than others. What does it depend on? Is it your major, perhaps, or is it just being persistent?
Well, I think the major is an important consideration. If you look at some of the statistics on people's majors and the industries, there are certain standouts in terms of lower unemployment rates for college grads. Another point I would make is that sometimes it's just a matter of timing, in that unemployment rates for college grads start off pretty high, but then they come down as it takes some time for college grads to transition into the labor market. So once a few years have passed, and maybe that involves taking jobs that college grads are not particularly keen on, the unemployment rate for college grads is significantly lower than overall unemployment rates.
So I'm guessing that a philosophy degree isn't going to get you the job that several other degrees might. What are the ones that have the highest sort of hit rate for employment?
Well, the Federal Reserve has done some research, and the Labor Department actually puts out estimates of what industries are going to do well over time. And what the Federal Reserve in its reports have found is that some of the more technical areas have seen better job prospects than areas where the degree might be in the liberal arts, for example. So degrees in engineering, degrees that are in the healthcare sector, those are areas that have been somewhat stronger. And the expectation is that that's likely to continue. You had a prior guest that talked about the energy sector. That's going to be majors that are a little bit more technically oriented than some of the more social sciences or liberal arts type degrees, and those are probably going to be stronger areas of the labor market.
You know, Hampton ended off his piece by saying that this class of 2014 is the most indebted class. You know, most of these graduates want to be able to say, I graduated and now I'm working at, you know, fill in the blank. But most of them are saying, I graduated and I've moved back home. Is that the new reality, and how do they pay off all of those loans?
Well, definitely student debt is an issue, and the extent to which student debt has risen. But one of the points I would make is that there seems to be this linkage between levels of student debt, the fact that the labor market is still tough for college grads, and some people questioning the value of that. But I would point out that there still is, if you look at unemployment rates for college grads, unemployment rates for people as a whole, over time, the unemployment rate is significantly lower for college grads. So I think it starts off difficult, and there is evidence that it is a sometimes difficult transition to make from college into the labor market. But I think those returns are there, and so over time, a college grad is probably going to be in a better position to address those levels of debt. Away from the fact that the level of debts are extraordinarily high compared to recent history.
Very quickly, Conrad, I was with a couple of father-son owners of a staffing company that serves the energy business out of Tulsa, Oklahoma the other day, and they said that they can't find people with the requisite skills, welding, other kinds of things that pay good money, $60,000, $70,000 a year. They just can't find the people.
Well, I think you've hit on a very important topic. One of the issues in the labor market is that there are very elevated levels of job openings, which is odd relative to the number of people who are unemployed. Usually, the number of job openings that we have right now would be consistent with a significantly lower unemployment rate, even for college grads. So there is this issue. There appears to be some issues related to job matching, and that the qualifications that people have are not necessarily well matched with the jobs that are out there. And that's something that is not going to be addressed in the short term. But I think in terms of better communication between businesses and colleges about what businesses are looking for, that could address this issue in the more medium term.
The new freshmen should be listening to this interview and all the advice you've given so they choose wisely over the next 4 years. Conrad, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thanks for having me.
Conrad DeQuadros of RDQ Economics.